Hello everyone, hope you all are doing fine. This is Gautam from Shailaja and this is another video of Mains in Minutes where I am going to discuss on recent current affairs issue from your civil service examination perspective. In this video, I will be talking about the floods which Punjab state is witnessing. If you look at the scale of the floods, nearly 1.7 lakh hectares of land has been submerged under floods. Nearly 20 lakh people have been affected, 4 lakh people have been displaced. And it is estimated it has caused a damage worth 13,000 crore rupees. Right? So, in this video, we'll try and understand what are the causes of these floods. Is it a natural reason, or is it a man-made reason, or is it a combination of both? We'll understand the consequences of floods, and we'll try and understand what measures can be taken in order to deal with this natural disaster. Right? So, before we go into it, let us quickly understand the definition of floods. Okay, flooding is nothing but the overflow of water that submerges your adjacent lands, which are generally dry, causing your natural or man-made disasters. Okay, so what can be the reason for this overflow of water? It can be heavy rainfall, it can be your snow melt, it can be your storm surges, it can be your tsunamis, or it can be your excessive excessive inflow of water due to failure of your dams or any other water management system like barrages, right? So there are multiple reasons for floods. Now, if you look into the data that is being provided by a National Disaster Management Authority from its official website, we have got certain data points which you can use it in your answers as well. So out of the total geographical area of 329 million hectares, 40 million hectares is flood prone. In a sense, 10% of the total geographical area of a land is 12%. You can say 12% of your total geographical area is prone to your floods, primarily in your Ganga belt and your Krishna Godavari belt. Okay, these regions are prone to your frequent floods. Okay, on an average, every year, 75 lakh hectares of land is affected due to floods. 1,600 lives are lost, right? And damages caused to your crops or your houses or your other public utilities amounts to nearly 2,000 crore rupees. Okay, so this data is a bit, a old one, but it's the official data from your National Disaster Management Authority. So kindly make note of it. You can use it in your answers as well. Okay. Now coming to the actual topic, the flooding in Punjab, the reasons for it. The very first and foremost reason is your excessive rainfall, which is caused by your climate change. Climate change, as you all know, is increasing temperatures because of your anthropogenic factors due to rise in carbon dioxide level, and it is combined with your erratic weather events or extreme weather events. You see increased events of your rainfall, increased drought, increased wildfires, and increased flooding or glacial lake outburst floods. So all these are increasing because of this climate change. Now, what Punjab state witnessed this year was that it saw rainfall which is 53% above the normal rainfall. So obviously, in the river channel, if this is the river channel, and there is a certain capacity which the river holds. If there is excess 50% of the rainfall, it is generally going to overflow into the adjacent lands, leading to your flooding. So erratic or extreme rainfall which the Punjab state witnessed, which is 53% above your normal rainfall, was one of the primary driving factors for flooding which we witnessed this year. Second important reason is your dam management issues. So what happened? The upper regions of your Punjab in Himachal Pradesh, right? You have your dams, okay, which try to store water, which tries to generate electricity and supply water for your drinking and irrigation purposes. One of the important dams is your Bhakra Nangal Dam, located in Himachal Pradesh. Now, since that particular state or that particular dam also received excess rainfall, they could not manage it or anticipate it better. As a result, they had to open the floodgates, which led to increased water flow in the downstream. That eventually led to your floods. Now, what could have been avoided? Why it is considered as a management failure? if they could have anticipated that this year we are going to receive more rainfall, rather than storing or having water at maybe 70% capacity. Presently, for example, if it is at 70% capacity, it can additionally store only 30%. And whatever is the excess, it has to let go of it. Now, if the existing level itself was brought down to maybe, if it was brought down to around 50%, then you could have stored more amount of water, as a result of which the downflow or the release of water downstream could have been a bit reduced. As a result, you could have controlled flooding. So dam management failure is also one of the primary factors which has led to flooding in Punjab state. Now, why it happened? Maybe because of lack of early warning systems, or it could not predict in a quick manner, okay, that we are going to face floods in a short span, or we are going to face extreme rainfall in a such short span of time. Second is also the failure of regional coordination. If Punjab, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh and the central government sat together and understood the severity of the issue that we are going to witness heavy rainfall in the coming days and it can lead to flooding, and if you can take appropriate dam management initiatives, we can somehow control the damage. If that sort of a coordination or dam management initiatives were taken, the flooding impact could have been reduced or mitigated a little bit less. In the sense, flooding would have still occurred, but the damage could have been, you can say, controlled. Okay, so this is one of the primary factors. This is a man-made factor, which can also consider it as a governance failure, right? Weak embankments. In a sense, in the local region, you call it as Dhussi bundhs, where the river streams and all are embanked with your sand bags. This is generally considered as weak. And if it is not properly maintained and there is excess rainfall, that is also going to break open and this is going to flood the rivers, right? For example, if this is a normal river stream and you have sandbags over here, okay, these are called as your Dhussi bundhs, which is generally going to act as your embankments or some sort of a wall, right? So it is going to control the flooding of your river. If that itself is weak, if that itself is not properly maintained, obviously the water is going to overflow. Okay, so weak embankments along the courses of river or your river streams was also one of the major reasons. So this is also considered as your governance failure, right? Next, siltation in river beds. Now, what happens when a river flow from upstream or down the slopes of a hill? It is going to carry along with it sediments and rocks and debris, and it is going to eventually settle it, okay, at the level plains. So if the depth of the riverbed is around this much, gradually stones are going to accumulate, or siltation. In other words, siltation is going to accumulate, right? As a result, the depth of the carrying capacity of the river stream is going to reduce. Now, when the carrying capacity is reduced, it is going to overflow. Similar to, suppose you have a water bottle, it is going to, you can say, it has a capacity to carry 1 liter. Now, in the bottom, you can say 10%, if there is mud which has been accumulated over a period of time or some reasons, the carrying capacity becomes only 900 ml. Clubbed with this, when there is excess rainfall, it is going to obviously lead to overflowing and flooding. That overflowing or flooding, that overflowing itself is called as your flooding, right? It is going to lead to submergence of your adjacent lands. Now, what is the solution for this? You need to regularly desilt the river beds. You need to identify the crucial points where desilting has to be carried out, and it has to be done during the off season and be prepared during the monsoon season when there is an excessive rainfall, right? That is also one other reason. Another man-made factor is your unregulated development, especially on your floodplains. If this is the river, if there is adjacent, there is construction of buildings or resorts or other things, the natural water channels are going to be blocked because of all this concretization. So it will not seep into the ground easily. As a result, it is going to lead to overflowing of water and submergence of lands. Okay, this unregulated development is also one of the major reasons because it blocks your natural water drainage system. Right? Weak governance and coordination, as I already told, if there was a better coordination between your state agencies and your central governments, dam management system could have been better and they could have controlled or mitigated the impact of flooding in a more better manner, right? So these are all some of the factors There is one natural factor that is not under our control, excessive rainfall that is happening, where Punjab state received 50% above normal rainfall. That is not under our control. But your dam management, your siltation of your river beds, your weak embankments of your river channels, unregulated development, weak governance and coordination, these are all human-made factors which are under our control and which can be, I can say, addressed effectively so as to control the damage that is going to be caused by the floods in the coming days, right? Now, the consequences of it, as I already told you, agriculture devastation, obviously, around 1.76 lakh hectares of farmland is going to be submerged, so all the cropping is going to be destroyed, right? Because, and it is also leads to other challenges in a medium term called as your land erosion and your siltation. Salinity is going to change, right? Humanitarian crisis, obviously displacement of people. As you saw in the beginning picture, people were displaced from their homes. Your entire house is going to be damaged, especially in your poor settlements. Okay, nearly 4 lakh individuals have been affected. Okay, economic impact. Okay, because of your destruction to your houses, because of destruction to your public utilities, it is estimated that the flooding has caused nearly 13,000 to 14,000 crores of damages. Right. Public health crisis. Now, when there is a flooding, the sewage water and industrial wastewater is going to, you can say, mix with your natural water, and in turn, it is going to call as something called polluted rivers, called as your black floods. This has a high possibility of causing public health diseases like cholera, right? So, when your sewage water and industrial waste gets mixed with your natural water, pathogens or disease-causing bacteria is going to spread easily, and it can create a public health challenge, right? Lastly, it is also going to have ecological impact, where there is a long-term contamination of your groundwater, and there's going to be degradation of your soil quality when there is increased flooding. The nutrient composition is going to get altered if this flooding is not naturally, if it is not managed in a better terms. So how do you then address this? How do you then address this problem? First and foremost thing, we need to have an advanced warning systems, better radars, better prediction technologies, right? Better satellite systems, quick response actions. We need to not only have advanced warning system, but also have quick response action plans, right? Quick response action plans. Next, you need to have a scientific dam management so as to include your climate forecast and so as to maintain your flood control capacity. Okay, the same thing Bihar is going to face, and it is an international problem where the dams in your Nepal is the dam management in your Nepal is going to impact the floods in your Bihar. So there is always going to be upstream and a downstream issue. If the dam management is not proper in the upstream or the upper reaches of your river, the downstream areas are going to be disproportionately impacted. So there needs to be a better coordination. There needs to be better scientific dam management that includes your climate forecast and your flood control capacity. We also need to strengthen infrastructure like your embankments and your drainage systems, and we need to restore your natural wetlands so that the water carrying capacity or the water seeping capacity is going to be enhanced, right? Regulation of your development, unregulated, you can say construction, all those things needs to be cleared out, or at least in the coming days, the authorities should be careful in not allowing such kind of construction activities to take place in flood prone areas, right? Desilting has to be done at a regular manner so that the carrying capacity of the river is going to be maintained. There needs to be better coordination between your central and state governments so as to handle such kind of events in a better manner. And more importantly, community has to be prepared. If community are very well aware that these kinds of natural disasters are going to occur more frequently in the future, and if they are made aware of what steps need to be taken, what precautions need to be taken, it will be better for them to deal with such kind of floods in the coming days. The best example is how Odisha state has evolved itself to deal with recurring instances of your cyclones. 1999, there was a severe cyclone which impacted nearly 1 lakh people in Odisha. And post that, the state got into a proactive mode and took all necessary steps and prepared the community so as to face this, because they will not be able to avoid cyclones. So it is better for the community to be prepared better to have early warning system, better to have quick reaction plans, better to have quick escape routes, rehabilitation measures. So Odisha state has clearly shown us that it is possible and it can be achievable. So other states might face different sorts of an extreme weather events. So Punjab and Haryana may not face cyclone events as regularly as Odisha coast face. As a result, they need to learn from the other states, and they need the community to be prepared in order to deal with those events that might occur more frequently in the coming days because of your climate change. Right? So this is all about this particular issue. High probability of such kind of a question being asked in your disaster management part of a GS3 paper. Now let us have a quick look at the question, and we'll see if you can attempt it. Right? Recurring floods carry social and emotional cost, fueling fears of youth exodus from the state. That's a statement. Critically evaluate the socio-economic implications of frequent natural disasters on rural development in Punjab. So they are simply asking, natural disasters like flooding, what is going to be the socio-economic impact on it, and what is going to be the impact on your rural development in Punjab. So give 2 subheadings, and then you try to write 3 or 4 points. Try and attempt it as much as possible. You can send those answers to me on this email ID, or you can WhatsApp to me on this number. Looking forward for your answers. All the very best, and thank you.